Welcome, and thank you for coming to my channel. Today we have the tragic story of the first homicide for 2023 in New York City. If you are interested in content like this, make sure to subscribe, that way you could keep up with all things New York. Today's series of unfortunate events actually took place here in Gotham, or should I say, New York, specifically the Bronx, New York. The victim here, it's very unfortunate. It's not somebody that you would ever think would be associated with news like this. And if any friends or family are watching this right now, I would like to give my utmost condolences. Sometimes the best people get dealt the worst cards, especially in this city. If there's anything you would like to share or give your opinion, just please be respectful. There is a family mourning right now that will have this on their minds every single New Year's from now till forever. And if any of you find it in your heart to help Mr. Garcia's family, they actually have a GoFundMe, which I will put the link onto the description of this video. Please remember that anything helps, and that all of this will be going towards his funeral costs. Aside from that, let's get right into it, Peso family. The date is January 1st, 2023, New Year's Day. Now, while a lot of people like to go out and go clubbing, Sergio Garcia was a 63-year-old man who just wanted to spend time with his family. He was actually a famous basketball player in the Dominican Republic back in '84. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the Bronx or actually live in the Bronx, this actually took place in Claremont. It was in the building on College Avenue, right by 170th Street, which we actually call 170. Now, about 3 hours after the ball dropped, Mr. Garcia decided he wanted to go home. So he grabbed his things, came downstairs, and as he was getting to his car, him and his significant other, his girlfriend, they start arguing. The reason for their argument, I'm not 100% sure about, but pretty much here on the video you could see the girlfriend was like throwing, I'm not sure what that is, towards the van. Now, sources do say that Mr. Garcia was trying to fall asleep in the vehicle, but they never actually said what was the cause for their argument. This is where the chain of events actually gets sparked. So there were some locals, as you can see on the top right, they actually were watching this whole situation unfold, and I guess they were laughing. Somebody thought it was a good idea to just start recording because, now everybody thinks that they're a vlogger. They carry these little phones on their pocket, and whenever they see the opportunity to laugh at somebody else's expense, they just don't even think about it. They don't think about the consequences, how that might make the other person feel. And instead of pretty much stopping the situation, de-escalating it so that the person doesn't commit a mistake, they just ridicule them. Start recording so that they can put it on social media, yada yada yada. We all know how it goes. Now, this is where things take a turn. When Mr. Garcia's girlfriend went to confront the little group recording them, the group became violent. Especially the main suspect, Ira Shane. Shane, who you see on this picture, was actually convicted of attempted murder back in 1989. He was released on parole in 2010, to which the parole actually ended 4 months after his release. Now, when Mr. Garcia's girlfriend went to the group, she was actually arguing back and forth with the lady that was in the group because she was the one actually recording. That's when Mr. Garcia came out of the vehicle to try and stop the situation and get her to calm down, because he was a very passive man. He wasn't violent at all. So he was trying to stop things so that it didn't escalate any further. But as you see here, Mr. Shane was there, and I guess he wasn't so forgiving. and he starts putting his hands on this woman as if it were to be another guy. Now this coward, because that's what he is, this coward not only can't fight fist to fist, he has to use a knife, but he also puts his hands on women. Mind you, that the other people in the group were actually also throwing things at both Mr. Garcia and his girlfriend, as you can see in the video, as well as slamming Miss Garcia on the floor. Now, from 2010 to 2023, this is the only time we've actually seen this guy back in action. But I wonder, on his free time, on his own time, how many other people alive has he hurt? Or how many women has he abused? Because a coward like this, I feel like they never really learn. You get a second chance. You come out of prison after serving 21 years. You get out on parole for months, whatever, and you come back to do the same thing and go back to prison for what? Was it worth it? It was New Year's Day and there was a little argument, maybe drinks were involved on both parties, but it never had to get to this point. You could have stopped. Mr. Garcia was trying to stop it from escalating because he was wise enough to know the lady was intoxicated. He wasn't paying any mind to it. That's why he stood in the car when she was throwing things at the vehicle. Unfortunately, though, Shane's ego was so brittle that it caused an 8-year-old girl to grow up fatherless. Now, I'm not sure how much of the actual footage I can show, but I will leave the links down in the description for the article where it shows the full thing. But it gets very graphic, and Mr. Garcia was actually a professional basketball player back in the Dominican Republic. In 1984, he was actually a selection for the country's national team. He was a very tall man, and you can see in the video, he could have easily overpowered Shane, but he wasn't even really swinging. He wasn't really trying to do anything. He was mostly defending himself. Of course, there is the fact that Shane has a knife in his hand, but even then, and I don't mean to get technical, but Garcia's wingspan is way further out than Shane. Look how small Shane is next to Garcia. If Garcia was really trying to be the aggressor, or if he really wanted to hurt Shane, I feel like he would have tried. He was just trying to defend himself and not really make the situation get any worse than what it already had gotten to. After the altercation, though, that's when Mr. Garcia notices that he's bleeding, and you can actually see it in the video how the pavement actually becomes of color little by little. Now, ironically, now it's the girlfriend trying to stop Garcia from going after Shane. Even though at first it was Mr. Garcia trying to stop his girlfriend. He quickly stops though, and he gets in the van and heads to the Bronx, Lebanon, which is now called Bronx Care, but we still call it Bronx, Lebanon over here. He soon heads to the hospital, which is the local hospital right there on Grand Concourse, but unfortunately, he was not able to make it. And so New York City recorded its very first homicide of the year at 4 a.m. His girlfriend, on the other hand, was fortunate enough to make it, although she is still recovering from multiple stab wounds. But thankfully, she is alive. And for the main suspect, Shane, his arraignment on charges of murder, manslaughter, and weapon possession was pending in the Bronx Criminal Court on Wednesday. So I do not have updated information as to how much time they're actually going to give him, even though I'm pretty sure they will give him max penalty just because he just came from doing 21 years for an attempted murder the first time. As of yet, no information has been released about the other suspects that were also throwing things and hurting Mr. Garcia's girlfriend and participating in this. I do not have any information on their case, but as soon as anything comes up, I will definitely update you guys. But with that being said, I would like to end it here. But before I go, I would just like to say this. No matter what happens, life is too short to be anything but happy. Live fully, have fun, love lots, learn lots, take chances, and learn how to let go. Face forward and don't let people bring you down, because our time here on this planet is limited. So focus on what brings you joy and not what brings you stress. Peace and blessings, Peso family. Until next time. If there's any feedback you would like to give me, please leave it down in the comment section. I will definitely take a look at it. And if you like the video, please make sure to leave a like. That will let me know that what I'm doing is actually appreciated. Thank you.